Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Evolve Expert session, proudly supported by our partner AirMeet. Uh, as I always say, at Evolve, we aim to bring senior professionals together to share insights, spark conversation, and explore ideas shaping the global business landscape. I'm very excited to have Davi Politanski with us today. Davi has built an impressive career, international career at Google, gaining extensive experience in international business and technology while also pursuing entrepreneurial ventures. So he's the founder and owner of Sweet Secrets, an exclusive speakeasy and networking hub in Sao Paulo, designed for fostering meaningful connections and hosting world-class events. In this session, Davi will take us through his journey of building a global career, balancing corporate and entrepreneurial success, and his vision for the future of business and communities. So, Davi, before we delve into your super interesting career, I always ask the same question, which is the big picture. So, who's Davi? What's the big picture, and how did we get here?
All right. Uh, First, for having me as a speaker, I'm very happy to be here. Davi in the picture, all right. So, Davi in the big picture, like, I always had a dream to be an entrepreneur. Life took me to a role in Google, so that changed everything. Google is an amazing company, so I've been in Google for 12 years, built my career that three different roles. Happily, always traveling, that's my passion. So I always try to find something that's gonna help me to travel even in my career. So I think that's something you should do, like try to connect your passion with your work. Um, so as I led global teams, which helped me to travel, and also my family is entrepreneurial family. I had the seed in my mind of entrepreneurship. So 3 years ago, I also joined in this different role. So I created my own company. Um, Saturday will be the third year anniversary. So as a big picture, it's Googler, 12 years, entrepreneur, and a traveler.
Nice. So I on the traveler note, your Instagram is quite impressive, and I think you share some of the places in that you travel to. And I think I saw recently you were in Bali or something, right? Tell us a little bit about your travel experiences, whether it's working with and for Google, and why do you like traveling?
All right. So traveling was special. I think traveling, this thing that the audio is not good, and the notes. No, is it,
It's only
okay.
Davi's audio. All right. Let's try again.
Let me put my earphones. Can you hear me now?
Let's try. I can hear you. Yes.
Don't just connect. Is it good now?
Yeah. I think it's. Go ahead.
Okay. So traveling, I think traveling has been my passion for more than 10 years. I think by traveling, you can get to see new cultures like food, uh, get new experiences. I love sports as well. Everywhere you travel, you kind of get experience different sports from different places. So it's just living a different life from yours, and getting to know new people. So I have this kind of two kind of experience around traveling. I've been leading the LATAM team in Google for many years, probably more than 10 as well. So I try traveling much more around LATAM. And something I always try to connect is like a business trip with a, a personal trip, right? That's something
Hmm.
that I always try to do. And then I had experience later on to cover Portugal because of the language. So I was covering Latin and Portugal, which I started traveling in EMEA much more, getting to know different countries in there. And after a while, I happily had the opportunity to lead a global team. And then after leading the global team, my favorite place is Asia. So I lived in Singapore, Sydney, and Tokyo. So by living there, also I had experience to travel around there, and I was passionate. about that places. I always try to find new places to travel. But as you just mentioned, I went back to Bali already. New Bali is one of my favorite places in the world. It's just such an amazing like group of experiences like diving, surfing, trekking, good food. Another amazing thing is like it's affordable, so it's not that expensive. So it's just like a good. It's far to get there, but whenever you're there, it's just an amazing place to be.
Amazing. Davi, and I think what I like to explore before we go and before we delve into um, sweet secrets, I think your career overall is quite interesting, super international, and I mean Google, like how walk us through your career growth, if you will, working for Google. I mean, you lead sales, right? Uh, Globally today, is it a global role, and because that's also probably very important when it comes to networking within Google. There are challenges just to network within a company as big as Google. So yeah, walk us through that progression.
Sure. No, today I lead the LATAM team for account management team for Google Workspace for the
Mhm.
emerging markets. But I joined Google 12 years ago as a new business rep for was the sales side of ads, so just for SMB. So it was just like a entry level role, and I worked my way into the head of sales LATAM. So basically, it was a few things that I always like to explain. First thing of all, I think is working hard, of course. But what I always try to do is not just working hard, but is learning from others in the beginning. Every time you join a new role or you join a new market, there are the top performers, right? So since they are the top performers and Google is such a like a friendly company, what I did in the beginning is just learning as much as I could from all different top performers, not just in Latin but globally. And
Mhm.
my vision is if you get to learn from a lot of top performers, their approach to market, their go to market, you can build your own. I'll never copy someone else because they have their own profile, their own strategy. But learning from different people and then getting yours into this group of strategies,
Mhm.
you can like probably skip a few steps. So that's normally what I do. I learn from the top, and then I work hard. So in probably in a couple, maybe 3 quarters, I was already the top performer for Brazil. 4 quarters top performer for Latam. My second year was the top performer globally.
Mhm.
And the way I try to do that is not just working hard, but it's by innovation. It's
Mhm.
trying to find things that people were looking at, like or even maybe were too hard, so people didn't look. So I tried like to crack the code in order to get this hard market. Like in my time in the past was e-commerce. So what I used to do in Google was trying to put ads into publishers, right? I was kind of buying their space and putting Google advertiser ads into the websites, and it wasn't obvious to have an e-commerce putting ads of their competitors on their site. So no, but if you think about publishers, the largest publishers, like the top 10 publishers, a few of them are e-commerce. So there were huge leads. So I tried to create the business case to do that, which we were very successful. And then when I left the team, probably 8 or 9 out of the 10 top e-commerce were using Google Ad Exchange at the time, and because of that, I was outperforming everyone globally. And that's why I started just in Brazil, then I covered Latin, and then Portugal. And because I was so successful in these results, I was invited to lead the global team. And the goal, it wasn't I wasn't the manager of the global team, was more like a lead. And the goal was to travel to each one of the regions and try to replicate the success I have in Latin. So it wasn't the same thing that I shared. The idea wasn't to say, hey, get exactly what you did in Latin and put it on a different region. No, it's understand the new region, understand the new rep, and try to
Mhm.
help him find this innovation, these transformative strategies. So that's why I spend a few months in each one of the regions trying to help them to do that. So that was my first team. Whenever I came back, I was invited to lead the Google Maps team. So Google Maps team is a B2B sales team as well. So I was a head of sales for Latam. So we used to sell APIs. Was a very innovative market as well. The way you approach customers was through innovation, because like everybody uses Google Maps somehow, right? If you have a map in your website to show where is your store or something like that, you're using our API. But my goal was to sit down with the bank, was just showing their agencies and show how the risk team could use Google Maps to say, hey, okay, there was a transaction in São Paulo at 1 p.m. and a transaction in Bahia at 2 p.m. Like they could use our API to say there is some risk in here. Okay, there's a new customer and they put their address in there. How can you use Google Maps API to see if there was like an apartment or if there was just like an open space and probably there was a risk of not being a new customer. So being very creative and innovative on selling with Google Maps. And so I was very successful for so I was 5 years in the first role, 4 years in Google Maps, and 3 years ago I changed for Google Workspace. So today, as I share, I lead the Latam team for account management for emerging markets for Google Workspace, and it's a completely different market. It's much more like a competitive market, right? We are trying to either grow our book of business with upgrades, upsells, or cross sells, and the team also try to convert customer that are using another platform as well.
Amazing. When it comes to your international experience in, let's say, replicating or creating playbooks in these international markets, what were the things that you would say that each market had in common and things that would differ? So let's say, Brazil and Portugal, same language with different worlds, and things that you could point out that were interesting that you would notice when going to market.
All right, that's a good question. So they are completely different worlds. Each country or each market that you try to tackle are completely different, and as you just comment, like you need to understand their culture, their market in order to create a strategy. The whole Latam is we're really like more personal. They're like we like to talk with people. We love to meet. We love to connect. So the relationship in these markets, they are important. Not just the product, not just the price, but like building relationship, building like deep relationships, going to be important. There's a few markets that you could close everything through emails. Like you have the best product, you have a good price, it's done. Like I don't need to see your face. There are many countries in Asia that like I was trying to build this strategy to have meetings, to have a create report, and there wasn't the need. So there are. It depends on this kind of culture of how warm is the culture. So Latin overall, most of the countries, it's so important whenever like we're talking to top customers to have a connection. Like some customer will decide into you even if you're more expensive because they, let's say, like you as a person more than your competitor. So it's very interesting to see this part of the business or how direct you should be or you should just start connecting without talking about the product and then move into that. Like I saw so many different meetings where you should start like Latam is very or Brazil is important to have a chit chat in the beginning of the call, right? There are some market they were like why you're not talking about the strategy, like what are you talking about? Like, I don't care about your family. Not like that, of course, but it was interesting to see these kind of different cultures. So you really don't need to, you can't replicate. You need to adapt, understand, and then create a strategy on top of that.
I find it very, very interesting that topic about business culture because, for example, sometimes things that drives me crazy in Scandinavia compared to Brazil, and we have Michaela. I think she's in Sweden. Michaela, then you confirm afterwards. I have to repeat a few times, but in Sweden or pardon, in Denmark, I'll speak it for Denmark. I think the decisions here, they always they need more than one person to decide. Not that doesn't happen in Brazil, but I've seen that in Romania or Brazil that there is one decision maker and they might move forward and it's more emotional. In Scandinavia, sometimes I feel that the decisions are more collective in the sense, so they're gonna see if everyone agrees with that, and that might take longer. And also that means that your sales cycle also takes longer, right? So one of the things that for me, and I think that is something that always worked regardless country, is to have some person that so I'm an international, let's say, and I would use someone that they can mirror in the country that is the local person, because that accelerates trust, in the markets that I've always worked, so Romania, Germany, Scandinavia. Because if you're there going by yourself and trying to, it's very hard to crack culture. Not sure if you notice that, or what's your experience on that.
I think it's the same. It depends. Like there were places where I was selling as a Brazilian, and
Hmm.
they found it very like say sexy or something like that. That okay, someone from another country is selling, they like that, and they were willing to talk and excited to talk about that. When I was in Sydney, there was that was a good thing. They really didn't care if I was Australian or not. But other countries, I agree with you. Like Portugal, Portugal, there was an amazing guy in the like when I started in Portugal was probably about 8 9 years ago, maybe even more. So was a kind of a reg was in there. It was four or five, maybe six people in the office, and the kind of the country manager in there was an amazing guy, and he was just calling people and say, "Hey, Davi's here. I need you to talk to him." And he was very well connected. So there was kind of he was helping me to get into the meeting, but not to do the meeting. But just
Hmm.
this introduction, not like a cold calling or an email, was already a huge thing. Whenever I sit with the person, like okay, there is someone that I know that connected me to this person. So having a local to help, it changed everything. Like, but a few markets they were more reluctant because you were from abroad, but another other ones they were like even more interested to learn from your country, to learn why you were there, why you're talking to a Brazilian. So it really depends. I think as I shared, like Asia for me, like Latam, it's easier to group countries regarding culture, right? It's not a huge difference. Of course, there are differences, but it's not huge. If we talk about Japan, then China, then Korea, then Indonesia, it's really completely different roads from apart.
Super interesting. Let's talk about the future of business and the role of communities. You being a networker as you are, tell me what are your views on communities? That's going to be our. We're going to talk about Sweet Secrets. It's a community, an impressive one that you guys are building. But looking at Google, looking at business, looking at how things are progressing, in your opinion, Davi, what's the role of community today, and how how the world is progressing for sales, for trust, for yeah.
I think community is key for every single kind of business or company. If you're able to create a community around your product, around uh, 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 your business, it's a long term business, right? You can create short term business without a community. It's going to be like a one shot, something like that. But if you want to build a long term business, community is key. If you were able to create this community around your product, around your company, it means people are passionate. They're part of the company. Basically, they are selling, helping you to sell. My business, the Sweet Secrets, is word of mouth. So being word of mouth, I need this community to be active. I need them to love the business, the product, because they are the ones that are helping me to do that. So for me, it's different from many other companies that can advertise, which helps to grow. Being so like old fashioned word of mouth company, having this such a strong community, it changed everything. And I can say easily say that in 3 years of Sweet Secrets, I built 10 times more of networking or my community than 12 years in Google because of the way it's built, the way the networking within Sweet Secrets is so strong.
And when you look at, we'll speak about Sweet Secrets, but for example, you have been building community working with Google. Now, it's a big community. Google has several communities within Google. I understand Google as a major platform in the end, right? So, what's been your, let's say, strategy to build your communities and to be part of other Google's communities within
Yeah,
this
you're right.
this.
No, you're right. I think Google has a lot of community. Let's say just if you talk about Android, it's a huge community, right?
Mhm,
It kind of, if you're Android and you love Android, you'll be fighting against our competitors, say like protecting Android. So there are many different communities within Google and Google products. And about like as a Googler, building networking within the company,
mhm,
it drives your success, right? Whenever if you're doing a good job and you work to have a community within Google, like getting to know people, connecting within the company, whenever you want to do the next move, people already know you, people already know your work. So having this networking within the company is always very important. But I wouldn't say that before creating Sweet Secrets, I was so active as I am right now. I like to build networking, to be within other communities. Because I always like the reason I created it, Sweet Secrets, was to start building this community and networking outside Google, right? Because
mhm,
if you think whenever you're in a company to build networking with your customers, let's say, normally what you do, you can create connection, but you're doing a selling meeting, right? Like you connect to someone to try to sell something. So
mhm,
it's not very deep engagement. You have a
mhm,
meeting, you try to connect, maybe you have lunch, but whenever like we talk outside Google and what I'm building, the
mhm,
network that I try to create now is in different groups. And these groups are more there to connect people, not really business. So whenever you connect first with the person and after that you get to know more about the business, it's more real. Uh, I really recommend everyone to be as we are doing right now, or
mhm,
everyone that is here, to try to be within these groups that you think it makes sense to be active. Today, I'm part of many different networking clubs, groups, because I really see value on that. Today, all of these groups that I'm part of, whenever you see all of these group people that are there, 30 to 40% are the same people. So whenever you are in this group, you're already among friends. And whenever you're among friends, there's let's say that 60% of people that you don't know, it's much easier to connect because you feel good wherever you are, and you start expanding the networking. And that's one of the pieces of the strategy of my business.
no, it's amazing. And I think like I said in the in our networking room, nothing beats a warm referral, right? Or how you just said a few moments ago. So just having the opportunity to say, hey man, can you introduce me to, for example, Micaela? I saw that she's doing something interesting. Maybe there's no business out of that, but just that introduction makes breaks so many barriers. No.
Agree. Yeah. So that's it. Whenever you have not just for referring like let's say someone for a role, or like
Hmm,
if you
hmm,
need help and you ask for help, people that you really connected, they will give you suggestion and people that they know. So today if I need help from any company because of this networking that I have, it's so much easier. Like I need help, and suddenly I'm talking to the CEO of the company, and if I look 3 4 5 years ago, it's going to be so hard to get to that person. But by having this strategy of building community, not just within my business, but being within other networking groups, it everything is so much easier in not just for work but for your personal life. Like there are experiences that money can't buy, but by having connections, people will help you to get there.
amazing. Um, Another thing, Davi, that I'm curious to ask you, and it's about this entrepreneurial journey of yours. You're doing both things at the same time, and there's a book by Adam Grant. Originals, right? And he talks about original entrepreneurs. He defends the thesis that you don't have to leave your company like you're doing now to go all in unless you see results happening. So walk us through that process of starting a business, and while you have a massive responsibility at Google as well, because I believe you have to deliver at Google so they're not upset, and
Exactly.
things as such.
Exactly. No, and I want like it's not like there's not a secret code or
Uh-huh.
it isn't anymore, but like it's a little bit, but was very very hard. Was very intensive. Like, a lot of hard work. Many nights without sleeping, not getting out
Hmm.
with friends. So I was really that was really something that I wanted to do, and I was willing to commit to that. So I took the decision, and for probably more than 1 year, I was completely focused on both Google and my company, and this whole year was very intensive. So was working after hours for both. The good thing about Google is I'm in a selling role, right, a sales role, which is connected to results. So there's
Hmm.
no discussions if I was delivering or not, which maybe from some roles is harder to show that. But since I open Sweet Secret, I always deliver my quota. I always work in like we are. I have the rule in Brazil for 8 hours a day, so I'm working 8 hours a day, deliver my results. So that's something that was my priority, right? Like
Hmm.
I'm very thankful for Google for all my journey for all my career. So I didn't want anything to mess with that. So I was always okay. I need to deliver what Google is asking me, and then whenever I finish everything for my day, okay, let's focus on Sweet Secrets. So that's why I was working long hours because it was one and then the other. But for the first year, I was really sleeping less than I should, and really working hard to make sure that the business was going to be successful. But with time, that the strategy was like hiring people, training people, and make sure they were better than me in each one of the roles, so I
Hmm.
could trust without being on top of them, without micromanaging, that everything was working fine. Today, my business, like whenever I go to Sweet Secrets at night, I'm a customer. I'm not managing anything. I trust that every single process is working fine. Today, I have an amazing CEO in Sweet Secrets that I know he's taking the right decisions. Of course, we talk probably every day, but I'm not working every day many hours.
Yeah.
So today, I can focus in Google and just have like deep discussions with the CEO on next steps.
Very nice. They are sending questions here, which we'll be reading in a bit. Now, talking about your Sweet Secrets journey. So you built a community there. Can you walk us through the Sweet Secrets journey? How did you came about the idea of starting a speakeasy experience? Really, it's really impressive. I was there, as I said, with my father. I think it was in April or May this year, and I was impressed. It's a kind of like a you have a two-story bar, and you cannot use your phone inside, so there are no pictures from within the bar. Tell us about how you came about starting Sweet Secrets, and yeah, um, give us the
Sure,
juice.
sure, sure. No, I as I said, my family is an entrepreneur family. I always had the seed. I always had the dream of having my own company. In university, I was the events director. After university, I started investing in restaurants and bars. So that was a market that I liked. Just so that was something I was passionate about. And whenever I started traveling so much for work, I started seeing amazing things on other countries. Right, either an amazing bar, either an amazing restaurant, hotel. So and getting those amazing experience, I was able to kind of whenever I was coming back to Brazil, so that there was a space for something like that. So that was the first thing, right? I was traveling and coming back, traveling and coming back, getting amazing experience. And Sao Paulo is just for me one of the most amazing cities in the world. And
Mhm.
by getting back to Sao Paulo and seeing there was nothing like I saw outside, I had the dream. I said, I someone need to create something like that. I didn't have time. That was probably 6, 7 years ago. And at that time, I didn't have time to do that. I was like, okay, I have this dream. I don't have time to develop that. So by the time I have time, someone will do that. And the best experience I had in the role, there were mainly two. And one was the speakeasy. For me, speakeasy was the best experience because the experience started before, right? It's not, it was like, okay, I wanted to go to a bar. Like, okay, I don't know where is the bar. I don't know how the bar is inside. I don't know the address. So your experience starts at home. And whenever you start going there, you find the address, you get there, you it's something that you're not expecting. Okay, Sweet Secrets is a candy store. So imagine someone invites you to an amazing dinner, to an amazing bar, and you arrive there, it's pink candy store. Okay, that's something wrong, right? So your experience again is different whenever you arrive. Whenever you arrive, like that's the speakeasy, right? How to through speaking easily,
Mhm.
find a way to get in. So again, there's an experience to get in, and whenever you join the bar, it's a different place from the outside. So for me, was one of the best experience I had. I'm passionate about the speakeasy. Every country that I go, I try to find the best that they have. And the other one, like the experience that I had also globally that I found really interesting that Brazil didn't have was the members club. The members club was just amazing, right? Like it was a place that only members could join, only nice people were there. I was like, I want to be inside this members club. How do I join this members club? I'm willing to pay. And again, for me, it was so clear that São Paulo needed something like that, and I didn't. My vision was there is a members club. I'm just not invited, or I just doesn't know about that. I just don't know about that. So I did my research, and there wasn't a members club. So Sweet Secrets is a connection of these both experience I had globally, and then the architecture, the experience they have in there. Then is a connection of more than 10 other countries. So it's similar to what I shared that I did in Google. I just research the top performers that in the world regarding experience, regarding restaurants, bars, and try to connect within my vision an amazing place in São Paulo.
But again, I think like what you guys are building, and I'm very curious about how you started the business, because today you're like your yearly fee. Let's say, I mean, I think you, it's at least I found an article. I spoke to Elton about it. It's somewhere around 30 grand a year in reais. So that would be to be a member, but you have to be invited, right? So you have to be invited by
Exactly.
another member. Then you're vetted. Uh, there's a board. The board is going to see uh, if they need that profile in the club, right? It's not, so it's not
Mhm.
just the money.
Exactly.
And so tell me about the qualification process that you have for vetting members and bringing in new members and people that you find are going to be a good fit. What is a good fit? I'll
Nice.
give you the criteria for Evolve, but I'd like to hear your.
Sure.
Uh,
Sure. Yeah, no, the price. I think the article was from Stadel. The price at that time was
yeah.
30,000, and today is already 50,000. Mainly
Mhm.
because of the demand and for the value that the current members are seeing. So they see value. We always like talking to the members to understand if they're seeing value on the price, and the demand is really high. So the price keep increasing happily. But as you share, 99% of new members are recommended by a current member, and then there is a board meeting that we do in order to approve new members. And there are a few things, right? It's not, as you share, it's not money. And the things are okay. We are like kind of a pro business, a networking focusing mainly in business. So we need to have people that we think is gonna add value to this group. So basically, first we research a little bit of the past of the person just to see if there is nothing wrong in there. That's number one. Something else that's important for us that most people wouldn't think about that is how they treat our team, right? Because there are amazing people that maybe they are arrogant, and we don't want these people within our like I value my team more than as much as the members. So they need to respect the whole ecosystem, not just the members. So that's another thing that we see. But then it's okay, what's the role? We want to have like a high level networking. So understand that they have a high level, either as an executive or mainly owner of companies. 65% of the members are company owners or high level executives. Let's see, VP, C levels, or maybe directors. So that's another thing. The other thing is understanding if this person is going to be active. That's something very important. It doesn't make sense for me, even if they pay. I don't want their money if they're not going to be there. I want active members. They're going to be there. They're going to be trying to connect with other people. They are be bringing their customer to impress them in sweet secrets. I want members who are part of the community, who are passionate to be on the community, who are passionate about sweet secrets. They, as I share, I don't do ads, right? So for me, it's important for them to be there, to be passionate, because they are going to be the one helping me to have the bar full, like full of people, and helping me to of the word of mouth, talking in other places about my business. So I find amazing whenever in another networking group and there's a member there, and we are in talking about something, this person talk about passionate about sweet secrets. Like that, for me, it's amazing. Like they love being a member. So that's the kind of member I'm looking for. And again, someone who is pro business, who is going to be connecting with other people and willing to help or to be helped.
Very interesting. On the ideal member profile and people being arrogant and stuff, like, have you guys ever kicked out a member? Said,
Yes.
hey, you're not welcome. Thank you. Thanks for coming. See you.
Yes, it happened. I don't want to give many details, should not
Sure.
expose anyone. But yes, it happened more than once.
Mhm.
Because of different reasons. Like one of them was not being respectful, was disrespectful during the night with the team and another member. He was asked to leave during the night, and then he was after that like a six. It's a 12 years membership, has a 6 month suspension, so it's really
Mhm.
severe suspension. And then whenever he came back, it was completely different. Like we never had problems again with that member. And another one, I won't share why, but like was asked, also like say asked to leave uh, the community.
Very, yeah, it's quite interesting. I think the part of being strict, because when you do that, you also set an example, right? So other members, like, they see that you guys are for real, that
Yes.
this is not just about the money. But I think the engagement part is super interesting. Like, you want to have members who are engaged. Do you think, Davi, like, after I started working building Evolve, and you guys are an inspiration for
Thank you.
like for what we are building. I believe, like, that exclusion creates something powerful. When you exclude people, like, it's not saying that you're not welcome, but just excluding, you create something special. So I started looking more carefully at communities, and there's typically always a community around something, right? Like, whether it's a festival for, like, Harry Potter. The other days I was with my daughters here in Denmark at a Harry Potter festival, and you would see, like, at this festival you had children and grandparents, and it's a community, right? They had this weekend festival. What Sweet Secret has is a community. What we're trying to build is a community as well. But engagement, it's so important, and I think most importantly is, like, getting members to connect. So in our case, we aspire to become an international hub for professionals in the world of commerce. And commerce, as I say, it's a big thing. Like, it can be buying services from Google, or finding a logistics partner, and but in order to get there, you need to create this environment where people trust each other. And what we try to do always with new members is, on, for example, one of the things is on WhatsApp, is like, when a new member is introduced, we tag people that we find that can be valuable for that new member, so they can hit the ground running, and they can have meetings right off the bat, because that's hard, and that comes from me or Gustavo. So those connections, I think it's really important. And the question I like to ask is more like, how do you guys uh, the environment, the bar is beautiful, but how do you guys make sure that these connections are happening as well within your community and your business?
Good. That's a great question. I think there are two different things, right? I think number one, we make our own events only for members, and the goal
Mhm.
of this event is being there. Everyone that's in there is clearly there for networking, clear there to meet new people. They go by themselves. So if they go by
Mhm.
themselves in an event, and everyone there has the same mindset, because we filter that in the beginning, networking and connections, they
Mhm.
happen. So we have three different main kind of events. One is the talks, which something similar to here. We bring someone to share content. Last one was the founder of Waze, who sold for Google
Amazing.
for
Yeah.
more than $1 billion. So amazing content. And then we have drinks and food for the members to connect between them. Before that was the founder of North Face, which amazing content again. The other kind of event that we do for members, we build kind of 7 or 8 tables. In each one of the tables, there's a very high level CEO, and he's kind of the lead of the table. And the idea is to share challenge and for the table to help each other. And the lead will just like drive the conversation. That's a they see a lot of value on that because they will really connect with the other people. They understand the challenge of other people. And the thing is, okay, I heard your challenge in the table, Carlos. Maybe right there, I couldn't know how to help you. But then I'm in another conversation, another day, in another group, and someone tell they sell something that was exactly what was your challenge. I would say, okay, Carlos need you. Right, so
Amazing.
that was something nice. And the other event that we do is mainly networking. So we do two big events of networking, which we try to bring as many members as possible. And then it's just, hey, get everybody in Sweet Secrets and let's try to connect, and let's try to, like, is it their celebration? It's one in the end of the year, which is on Saturday, and the other in the beginning of the year. End of year is Sweet Secret's birthday. It's going to be 3 years on Saturday, and the beginning of the year is my birthday, which is the two
Congrats.
big celebrations we do with Sweet Secrets. And the other things that you said, okay, how do we connect? Like, we don't connect. Like, we really want the people to be there connecting with other people. Whenever we are talking with a new member, we tell them, say, hey, we are not here to connect you with other people.
Mhm.
Like, that's the platform is there.
Mhm.
You have a platform to use in two ways. Bring your people to impress them, bring your customer, bring your employees. That's an amazing place. You're going to be able to impress them, close more deals. People that are there, they are open for connection. They are all being filtered because of that. So, like, we can help if you ask, but we are not there to force, not force, because it's not, but like, we want people to be there, open and connecting.
Super interesting. Thank you, Michaela. I'm bringing her on stage. So it's our first. It's her first time as well. So Michaela, she's probably going to join the backstage and soon the main stage. Gustavo, please. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Welcome, Michaela.
Thank you. I don't seem to be able to share the video, but oh yeah, now.
Yeah.
So
You're
yes,
right.
I did have a question, and thank you for the insights of your members club. It's very inspiring. But my question is actually, you have had three pretty impressive roles at Google, but I'm curious to hear uh, what which one have challenged you the most and that have developed you the most, and in what way have they challenged you and developed you?
Nice question. Thanks, Michaela. I think that the answer is going to be the first role. It was the first one in Google. Was the one that I needed to get in and impress everyone. So was the one that I worked harder. In the beginning, as I shared, is working hard. It was a new product, was a new kind of customer, a new company. So I had to learn how to sell, and about the technicalities of the product. So it was much harder because of that. And by developing that, was the one that I developed myself the most, because I learned how to sell in a Google way, let's say, because I learned so much from other people, but also because of working so hard and delivering so much, I had the international experience was all in this team. So my favorite and the one I think I developed the most was the first team. Was the name was Online Partnership Group, and was just amazing. Like the how much I developed myself as a salesperson, and then by helping other people, and then by leading a global team.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Michaela. Do you have other questions? Feel free. It's typically we invite members always, whether they're new members or not, just to join our stage, and yeah, just to have this opportunity to interact.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about one thing, but when you mentioned that they are paying like a pretty high fee for being a member of the club, then maybe they're there to be a bit more private. But I guess that all of your members have a pretty interesting journey behind them. And have you ever been thinking about doing a podcast or similar together with your members to share their stories?
Yes, quite a lot. That's definitely a plan. It's on the marketing plan.
Mm,
The thing is, as we're talking here, right? There's so much I can do because of Google and Sweet Secrets, but definitely I think that the podcast will make sense. We have a kind of a VIP room inside the secret bar, so it's the secret of the secret, which
mm,
fits a perfect podcast room. So the plan is there. I did like there was another podcast that invited me, and we did
mm,
in there. So it was amazing already. So we proved the concept by when I did a podcast. So definitely that's something that's in the plans. Probably 2025 is gonna be the year. But I agree with you. Like there's amazing people that should be sharing their story in Sweet Secrets, and hopefully we can start
mm,
that in 2025.
mm.
That's my daughter.
Yeah, coming home from school.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, thank you. That was my last question.
Thank you,
Thank,
Mikael.
thank you, Michaela. Very nice. Let me see if we have more. Yes, thank you.
I think AI is going to change the world, like at any perspective that you have, any kind of team, culture, country. That if you use AI, it's going to be helpful just by asking these questions to AI, right? Like, okay, how should I work with this culture? I have this product. I'm gonna talk to this kind of people in this country. AI can always help. I've been my team is the one responsible for cross selling Gemini for Workspace. So I've been working and studying a lot about AI, and it's amazing how much it can help everyone, either for productivity or for knowledge. So definitely, I think AI is gonna be impacting the manner you work in each region.
Gustavo, you had a question as well. If you like to, yeah.
Yes, I think yes. I think like it happened a few times already. Let's say someone, not just in my team or around Google, had a challenge with a customer, and I had like a deep connection, a real connection with the CEO. So I just give a call to the CEO and say, hey, like this team have been trying to reach out to you. They've been trying to do this. Like like can you just give it some more attention here? I wouldn't say Google help a lot on Sweet Secrets. I don't think it like it's such different uh, business and verticals, but like the connections from both helps, right? I think having these two hats just kind of impress people, and they want to be on both, right?
Let's see if there was another one here. Yeah. Anyone? Yeah. I think there's one. So has anyone participated in communities or networking clubs before? Yeah, this is more like a general question. But even you, Davi, you mentioned you participate in communities today, other communities
Yeah.
as well. Do you participate? Can the ones you can mention, and why do you join them as well?
Sure. I try to join like small communities, like those huge ones. I think it's harder to connect. Like I like Evolve. I like the other ones that also are like deeply in a vertical, which is like clear how people are trying to help each other. So let's say there's, let me think. There are quite a few that I participate. Just like there is one. The name is Priceless. It's just like a community. There's not a place. It's like Evolve is like a group, but a small group, around 20 people. And what we try to do, the owner of the club, they kind of do experiences, like priceless experiences. So you're really willing to do the trip, and then whenever you go do the trip, all the members are really, there's a high criteria to make part of the group. So there are like 15, 20 people in a different state having amazing experience, and we connect, right? There are like specific parts of the trip there to talk about business, someone presenting something or talking about their company, about the challenge. But most part of that is just kind of having experiences. Like we just did one of the experience this weekend. Like he closed the Christ, like one of the wonders of the world, the Christ, just for us to have breakfast. And then the afternoon, he rented the largest yacht in Latin America, which we had an amazing barbecue. So you are in an amazing place with amazing people. So you truly connect with people. And as I share, like I really have this vision that you don't connect a business with a business. You connect a person with a person. After doing that, you get to know their business, and maybe in short term, you don't have nothing to help them, but you connect with the person, then the business. So whenever you hear something that might be helpful to that person, we're gonna remind them because you know the person. You want to help a person. People normally don't want to help business. Like they want to help someone. They understood their pain, they understood what they need, and then by understanding that maybe their need is not to sell more, they have something as a personal issue that they want to do, and you understood that person to person. So that's why I like these kind of small groups. I think there is another one, which is the Gentleman's Group as well, which it's similar, about 10 to 15 people. They do also amazing experiences where we connect. There's always, of course, something related to business. They are presenting some opportunity of investment. They are present, or someone is sharing about the company. But overall, most part of it is getting to know people.
That's very nice, and I completely agree with everything you said. I think um, what I like to ask is more like, do you see that I mean, more there's an opportunity for a business to create their own community, or not sure if my question is clear. Try to rephrase that. Do you think every business should try to create their own community?
Yes, yes. And sometimes you already have a community, you just don't know about that, and you should try to understand, okay, what's your product, why people like your product, why you are where you are, and who are your top customers. Probably your top customers, they're already, let's say, a fan of your product. So you should be understanding why they are the fan and try to build a community on top of that, like giving benefits for this kind of special group. They'll be even proud there to be your customer, and they'll be part of the community of your product, of your business. So thing, as I shared in the beginning, having a community around your product or your business, it creates long-term value for your, or LTV, for the specific customer, right? I think for me, it's, let's say, a little bit easier because whenever someone buy my product, it's a 1 year, 1 year that they're gonna be with me. But as I share, I need them to be happy in the end of 1 year, during the 1 year. So I need them not just to buy and be part of the community. I need to bring value for them for being part of this community. And like you need to understand on how to build it for your company. I don't. You asked. I think the question was, do you think there is opportunity? I don't think there is opportunity. I think there is the need of having communities around your company.
Brilliant. I agree. I think my final question, it's I'm not sure if it's a question. It's more like a remark on everything that you just touched upon, because in the end we talk about value, and I think value is about people, right? So it's understanding how can I help another human being reach their goals. We were having this conversation, Gustavo and I, this morning. Like, everyone is selfish, right? So I need to understand that that person has a problem, because if I can help them reach their goal faster, maybe I won't sell to that person, but they can refer me to something super interesting as well. And that's the process of building trust. So I think what you're doing, it's amazing. You are it's very, very inspiring for Evolve. So thank you for that, Davi. If you were to give one maybe actionable insight from this conversation we had today, or this is going to hopefully be in perpetuity on YouTube, and what would you say? What would be the one insight, one actionable insight, so you can help people evolve at the Evolve community?
Nice. I'm gonna talk about the networking piece, the last piece that we've been talking, and give a, let's say, a tip. I normally do in Portuguese. I'm gonna try to do a real time translation. Like, there is I say the networking. There is the three I's, right? I'm gonna say in Portuguese, try to translate it in English. So there are the interessante, interessado, e interesseiro. So for me, as a networking, I always join the community, be interested. I'm not trying to be interesting. If you try to be interested, if you really go to someone to connect with this person, and don't get there trying to do business. Try to learn from them what they're paying, who they are, like as a person, as a business. So interested, you really want to understand them without trying to take value of that. As you share, like, people are selfish. They try to, okay, let me try to understand how I can take value of them. No, be interested without being trying to take value, and then be interesting. People want to be around people who are interesting. So be interested first, then be interesting. Show that you are an interesting person, what you do, how you do, who you are. And then after doing that, always take out the last one. Don't try to do business or take value in the first conversation, or don't listen to the person trying to say, okay, I'm listening to him. How can I make money out of what he do? Or how can I take value out of how they do? No, the first one, you're interested, you learn, you're interesting, they learn out of you. So that will be my tip, the three I's.
Very nice, Davi. Thank you for that. If people want to learn more about Sweet Secrets, of course, I will be sharing. I mean, we have a very international audience. Just some numbers: 41% of our base today is in Latin America. A big chunk of that, Brazil. We have several decision makers there as well. We intend to to do more collaborations with you. Elton is here in this call. One of our goals is we've been talking to CINT to bring some of the executives, international executives, to Brazil, to their office, and hopefully we could do something also at Sweet Secrets, because I think it's an amazing experience. But yeah, to be closer to you guys. All right.
I love the idea.
Yeah, of course. So perhaps you want to share where people can find you, and some information as well. I will share that on YouTube later.
Sure. Yeah. Well, like, the place I'm more active is Instagram, where I share my travels, the events we're doing, Sweet Secrets, and some highlights of entrepreneurship or Google. So my Instagram is D Politanski. So D as in David, Politanski is my surname. And for Sweet Secrets, since it's a secret bar, you can see the Instagram. The Instagram is going to be a candy store. Not many information there. We have like a close friends for members, but you can see it's beautiful page. So it's SWT Secrets, the Instagram as well.
Thanks very much. Thank you, Davi.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thanks.
Bye.
I